All right, millions of students are back at it once again for the fall semester. Probably some actually going back maybe after Labor Day, but the majority, you could say, are distance learning to talk about how it's been for parents, what we can learn as a family, as educators. The Dean of the College of Education of the University of Phoenix, Pam Rogaman, joins us once again. Pam, thanks for being back with us.
Oh, happy to be here. Thank you.
Okay, so let's start with parents first. This time around, what we've learned, what we're doing differently. And I think, and I'll use myself as an example, and my wife, who's very involved with the kids as she also works downstairs, um, is technology. Okay, so one of the first questions we ask, and I don't know if you recommend this, but is to go to the principal, go to the teacher and say, what do I need to make this happen and be smooth?
Yeah, not only that, but I think it's the best advice you can get is give is to go to the teacher, especially for the younger kids, those grades K through 3, especially. How much maneuvering of the Zoom platform or whatever online platform they're going to use are those younger kids going to be able to do? I've heard a lot of families be super creative. I know of one family that has the grandma come in for the morning learning to be the guide on the side for those younger kids. I know a lot of families have asking the older kids to kind of be the guide on the side for the younger kids because they're just much more independent. And I think one of the struggles that I've heard is just space in the house, because when you've got Zoom meetings going on, the younger kids with the headphones, sometimes that helps them keep them focused, and sometimes it's just kind of a distraction. So you kind of have to know what's working best for your child. But just the ability to be able to focus on an online meeting is something that I've heard parents are really struggling with, the younger kids especially.
So moving forward, when you talk about focus, do you think it's more important when to focus on long-term goals here with the distance learning, or focus more on like short-term goals?
I really think that where you have the most success is when you're monitoring and adjusting your plan in kind of the short-term bursts. So maybe you're sitting down, over the weekend and just saying, okay, what worked, what didn't work? Do we need some
Yeah.
space, between our kids? Are the devices working? And then, modify and adjust that plan for what's not working. And also, I think that, schools, teachers are getting better at knowing just kind of how to keep the kids engaged. For example,
Mhm.
my daughter's in high school and they're doing block schedules, so 2-hour blocks. And what the teachers have learned is it's just unrealistic to expect the kids to stay staring at that screen for 2 hours.
Yeah.
And so what they do is, they meet synchronously at the beginning. They talk about what they're going to learn. The kids go off and do some work. They know everybody's coming back on at a certain time, or they put them in small groups. And, that's not even a high tech kind of skill base for the teachers. That's just good classroom management. Like in the actual classroom, teachers will chunk their lessons in appropriate time frames according to the age of the children. So for the younger kids, especially, what I've seen, just in the videos and everything that I've watched for the schools that have started is teachers will ask the littles to stand up and, just like they would in the classroom, stand up and do a stretch or,
Right.
yeah, just wiggle, have a little
Yeah.
wiggle break.
That's it. Hey, one more for the parents too, because and I go back and forth with some of my own friends who have children in my children's classes, and I know there's a few of them that just can't stand this whole thing about distance learning. They don't like it at all. Is it important for parents to at least understand that there is some benefit to online learning? I mean, because this may be something that could live with us forever, in some aspect.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think what parents need to understand is the constant virtual learning with no choice it's only going to happen for a limited time. Kids are going to go back to school. Everybody wants that. But I do think that what parents need to be able to embrace about this is, if your family takes a vacation, if your child gets sick, even beyond COVID, if they have a sports trip or whatever, what the virtual learning does allow is some flexibility, and it doesn't interrupt your child's learning. Summer school, more time spent on standards, extra help. It just extends the school year and the school day. I think that positive point is here to stay.
When it comes to your blueprint for learning, and I want to focus in more on the educators for this one, but I gave an example. Well, not yet, but the teachers from one of my kids. It's just one Zoom link now for all their different subjects. I mean, my point is simplicity. Is that something that you recommend to teachers out there? Just try to keep it as simple as possible?
Absolutely. And not only that, but not only for, just the access for the kids and how they're going to maneuver it, but also I think advice for teachers is to not think that you have to master all of these technological skills that are out there. It's great to go on Pinterest at night and see what everybody else is doing.
Yeah.
But for myself, when it comes to technology, I learn one thing at a time. I learn it well. I learn how to manipulate that one thing and be creative with that one thing, and then I move on and I add another tool to my toolkit. But yeah, just you're teaching, when you're being effective, and when you need to change.
In a classroom setting, teachers get frustrated. They can pull the child up to the desk, have a private conversation. Hey, I need more of you to focus here and that. When you're on the Zooms, maybe it's harder to do that. You can pull them in a waiting room, I guess. But what do you tell teachers who maybe get frustrated, saying, "What? I don't know if I should call this student out, in front of everyone like I used to in the classroom, or do I not?"
Right. And I think the first thing that you do is you follow what your school's protocol is. A lot of schools are counting attendance with that synchronous online appearance and holding kids accountable that way. And I've heard other schools that, due to accessibility for their student population, they can't hold them accountable. And so I think both parents and teachers need to connect in a way that they never have before. And I do think, one of the things that we never really utilized as teachers before was just that face-to-face kind of meeting with parents. And now, because we have all of these tools with Zoom and whatever platform that you're using, I think it's okay to just sit and talk to the parent and just say, let's work together. What can we do? For example, I heard of one student that has ADD, and so in the classroom, the teacher was pretty good about being able to accommodate that student. So one of the things that they're trying is they're having the student put the computer on the kitchen counter and standing. And just that little bit of interaction and kind of focus with that physical self, that's helping, and that's how they've solved that. And so that was kind of a solution that the parent and the teacher worked out together. So I think those kinds of possibilities, really having the parent and the teacher be better, closer partners than they ever have before. Hopefully some of those skills will just kind of transform throughout COVID and beyond COVID.
Yeah, teammates all in it together. Hey, would you tell teachers to prioritize, I guess you could say, longer student-driven assignments rather than shorter ones, or no?
I really think it depends on the age group.
Okay.
And, that's always kind of been what teachers have done. And, the long-term projects, I think teachers are still going to address those long-term projects the way that they did before in the classroom. I think what they will be able to lean on is just offering more resources, send the kids here, there, or wherever online. And that's really going to help to be able to enrich students' learning in a way that, not every kid had a device in the classroom where they were able to do that, but teachers, can send links and, take kids on virtual, scavenger hunts and whatnot, where they didn't really have the technology to be able to do that sitting in front of every kid. So I do think that, to get through anything that's hard, you really have to try to focus on, well, what does this bring to us as opposed to what is this doing for us?
And Pam, you don't think that this is going to go on? You kind of touched on it a little bit. I mean, you said
Yeah.
we're going to go to the classroom, but this is something. Is any aspect of this going to be in our futures forever for these students?
I think that what teachers are going to learn is that kids can do more on their own. I think that's what we're learning, is that kids can be independent, self-starting, self-initiating learners. And so I think that the expectations by teachers are going to be elevated when kids go back, because they do know that they don't need teachers to hold their hands possibly as much as maybe we did before. We can lean on our students to be better partners in the whole education process. And I think that is going to be a long-lasting kind of goal for teachers, is just to say, okay, we can't expect our kids to be that self-initiating, self-reliant learner, that maybe in a different way than we did before.
Yeah, just responsibility. I mean, I've noticed it in my second grader, just taking the responsibility on herself that you have to be in this class at this time, and
Oh, be in the seat at this time, and this
yeah,
is the way that I behave online. And, that's a good skill that kids will take with them into the workplace as
yeah,
well.
for sure. All right, the Dean of the College of Education at the University of Phoenix, Pam Rogaman. I appreciate the conversation, Pam.
Oh, great to talk to you again. Thank
Okay.
you.